What happens when an Uber driver realizes the young woman he just picked up isn't going to a party? She's being trafficked by the men following his car. Jake was about to discover that his boring rideshare job had put him in position to save lives using skills the passengers never knew he had. The streets of downtown Chicago were busy as Jake Thompson pulled up to the pickup location on North Michigan Avenue. At 34, he'd been driving for rideshare companies for 2 years. A quiet, steady job that paid the bills while he figured out what to do with his life after leaving the Navy 4 years earlier. "Are you Jake?" asked the young woman who approached his car, glancing nervously over her shoulder. She was maybe 20, well-dressed but clearly distressed, with the kind of hypervigilance Jake recognized from his military training. "That's me. You requested a ride to Lincoln Park?" Jake asked, noting that her hands were shaking as she got into the back seat. "Actually, could we just drive for a few minutes?" she asked, her voice tight with fear. "I'll pay for the time, I need to think about where I'm going." Jake's military instincts, honed by 8 years as a Navy SEAL, immediately detected that something was wrong. The young woman, her ride profile said Emma, was displaying classic signs of someone in immediate danger, checking mirrors obsessively, flinching at car horns, and most telling, constantly monitoring her phone as if expecting threatening messages. "Emma, you okay back there?" Jake asked gently, using the calm, authoritative voice he'd perfected during hostage situations overseas. I think someone might be following me," Emma whispered. "There's been a black SUV behind us since we left the pickup spot." Jake checked his mirrors with the systematic precision of someone trained in tactical driving. There was indeed a black Escalade maintaining a consistent distance behind them, making the same turns, keeping pace despite traffic variations. Jake's 8 years of special operations experience kicked in immediately. His casual rideshare driving transformed into a protection detail as he began employing counter-surveillance techniques that most civilian drivers wouldn't recognize. "Emma, I want you to stay calm and trust me for a few minutes," Jake said, his voice carrying the authority of someone accustomed to life-or-death situations. "I'm going to take some unusual routes to confirm whether we're being followed." Jake began executing a series of tactical driving maneuvers, unexpected lane changes, sudden stops at yellow lights, and routing through areas where pursuing vehicles would be forced to reveal themselves. The black SUV matched every movement, confirming active surveillance. "Emma, I need you to be honest with me," Jake said, maintaining his calm demeanor while planning defensive strategies. "Are you in some kind of trouble that might put us both in danger?" Emma's response revealed the true scope of the situation. "Jake, I think I'm being trafficked. These men told me I owed them money for bringing me to Chicago, and now they say I have to work for them to pay it off. I managed to slip away from the hotel, but they've been tracking me." Jake realized he wasn't just dealing with a following car. He was in the middle of a human trafficking situation where Emma was either escaping or being transported between locations. Jake's military training had included counter-trafficking operations in multiple theaters, so he recognized the situation immediately. Emma was likely a victim of labor or sex trafficking, and the SUV represented handlers who were either recapturing an escapee or moving her to a new location against her will. "Emma, listen carefully," Jake said, his voice carrying the calm authority of someone who'd coordinated military rescues. "I have experience with situations like this. We're going to get you somewhere safe, but I need you to follow my instructions exactly." Jake began planning a tactical response that would neutralize the threat while protecting Emma. His SEAL training had prepared him for asymmetric warfare situations where civilians needed protection from hostile forces, exactly what was happening now. But Jake's assessment was interrupted when the black SUV accelerated aggressively, pulling alongside his car in an attempt to force him to pull over. But Jake's military training had taught him that traffickers don't give up easily. Because the men in the SUV were about to discover that their victim had chosen the wrong Uber driver, one whose Navy SEAL background had prepared him for exactly this kind of urban warfare. Part 2. When human traffickers target a rideshare car, will special operations training be enough to protect an innocent passenger?